Hello, everyone. I am going to check everything just to see that everything's working great. Let me just take a quick peek at the Hangout page, just see that you guys are here. If you're here and you're on, just if you could comment below just so that I see that you're here. It's nice to say hi and to have someone to say hi to. Not just an imagination from my perspective. So just make sure that you go down and just say hi and say, hey, I'm here, that kind of thing, so that I see you. Okay, now I kept thinking, because I've been making a lot of changes in what I've been doing lately, and one of the things that I wanted to do is try to do things a little bit differently. I am very, very, very interested in giving you really awesome results. Very interested in the content that I do once or twice a month, you know, in this type of venue, so to speak, is very high quality. So my goal with this is to be able to give you a different approach, something different, something, a new experience that will leave you with something tangible at the end of it, rather than just, oh, this is just a bunch of really cool information, right? So in this masterclass, I decided to do something different, and I'll tell you exactly what that is in a moment. But let me give you some instructions so that you make the most out of it. First of all, this is the masterclass for how to leap from $2,500 a month, or how I like to call it, $400 a month per client, right? Because I was working month to month with my clients at that time, from $2,500 a month to 25K sale as a spiritual entrepreneur without losing clients, and using the one strategy that you already know how to do. So let me give you some instructions so that you can make the most out of this. Like I said, I'm very interested in you actually getting something really tangible and specific out of this. So the first thing that I want to say is that we filter everything. Everything that I'm telling you right now, even as I'm speaking, you're filtering it. And it happens automatically. I do it, you do it, everybody does it, right? So here's the thing. Even if you've heard this before, even if the things that I'm going to be sharing with you today are things that, you know, many people have shared with you, it's not about just hearing something. And this is where we kind of start losing traction, or we are actually not able to get to where we want as quickly as we want and all that stuff, because we're not doing it. So we're thinking it, we're believing it, we're doing the mental work, the mindset and all that stuff, but our actions, the way that we work out here in the world, right, it's not really reflecting that, because we're not doing it. This work needs to be done for it to work. It's not just something like, I'm going to think about it, or yeah, this sounds great. Many of you probably have accumulated tons of certifications, tons of courses, tons of like marketing and business and all this other stuff that are just picking up dust on a shelf, or in the shelf of your mind, and it's not really giving you what you want out of it. And there's a reason for that. The reason is that, you know, it's everything that you're doing, you're filtering. So it just goes into the closet in that category. I already know this, I already know this, I already know this. And then you can't really get out of it what you want. So my invitation for you is that I don't believe in happenstance. I really feel that you're here for a reason. So meaning here in this event, right? You signed up for a reason. You decided to show up for a reason, you know, and I'm very happy that you're here. So why don't you just try to actually think about things in a new light? Actually give yourself the opportunity to make the most of this time. You're obviously looking for something, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Okay, so you're looking for a result that you don't yet have, okay? And especially resonating to the topic that I am going to be talking about today. So meaning raising your prices and making in a month, making in a day or with a sale what you could be making in a month or even beyond that, right? So it's not going to happen if at the same time you're looking at Facebook and checking your email and responding to client inquiries and all that jazz. Like, really, what you put out is what you're going to get. So be here, be with me. You know, I'm excited that you're here. Just let's do this together, right? I already know this stuff. So I am here to show you and share with you what you could be doing so that you can actually connect the dots that may be missing right now in the results that you want to get. And this is what I want to do differently. So I started thinking, because for every event I try to do something different to sort of like really, you know, for me, it's just fun. It keeps me on my toes and challenges me and all that stuff. For you, I always try to listen to something that I feel is missing. And the thing that I felt that you could get that would help you to get more out of this is that instead of just going through this and just, you know, writing notes down, that you actually write down questions that you can ask yourself so that you can hear it differently, what I'm saying differently as it relates to you or anything else. Because questions can actually open the door so that you can create a breakthrough for yourself. So let me give you an example. So I'm talking to you about this whole knowing thing. Like, what is a question that you can ask yourself about? I already heard that, like about that, you know, oh, that idea of I've already seen that, I've already heard that, whatever, that will help you create a breakthrough in how you're listening right now and in how you're listening to everything that I'm going to share with you today. Okay, so as you're hearing things that catch your attention, write your question down, and then see if there's any other questions that you can ask yourself, or anything else that you may actually want me to answer for you. Then you can just write it in the comment section, which is below the video. Okay, so does that make sense to you guys? So pretty much what I'm asking you to do so that you can actually get the most out of this event, this masterclass today, is that instead of just writing notes, you actually write down questions about what I am talking about. All right, so you can write notes too if you want to, but just write down questions, because I would, if I was speaking to you one-on-one, I'd know what questions to ask you specifically to get that breakthrough from you, because we have that interaction. But since this is not that format, then you need to do this for yourself. So as we're going through every topic, just write down questions. And then if you want me to answer those questions, then you can definitely put them in the comment section. Okay, so the other thing that I want to announce before we move on to the next thing is that I want to share a couple of things towards the end, which are just two juicy extras or bonuses, you would say, that I want to share with you that you would be eligible for. So one is like the breakthrough that you can get in 30 minutes a day. So there's a process that I actually follow that allows me to create that whenever I need it on a day-to-day basis, and it's really powerful. So that's you become eligible for that. The second thing is the plan, the master plan, so that you can actually build whatever multiple six-figure business or six-figure business, so that you stop questioning, oh, what do I need to do next? I know that those questions can be really tiring and exhausting. And if you don't have a plan that you follow, that you understand exactly how it works and why you're doing what you're doing, it can get really distracting. So this way you can just eliminate all that clutter from your head and just take the right actions at the right time. Okay, so let me just, now that I went through all that, let me just thank you for being here. I'm grateful that you're here and that you're sharing this space with me. So the main reason is that you're speaking through your actions. And that's the only thing that really counts, your actions. You know, the things that you can say a lot of things. And I feel that in this community especially, there's a lot of broken promises that we don't keep with ourselves, like not even other people. With ourselves, we don't keep our promises. So having showing through actions that you mean what you said that you were going to show up, and then you said, I am showing up, I am going to be here, says a lot to me. Okay, because I do understand like how difficult it is to take that time out of your day to actually decide I'm gonna listen to this, right? So I called this specifically, this event, a closed door event for a reason. And I want to explain to you because I've never really used that term before, but there was a reason, a very, very, very specific reason why I did that. So it wasn't because this event wasn't open to everybody that wanted to sign up. It was. You signed up, you know, anybody else had the same opportunity, but not everybody did. Only a fraction of the amount of people that typically sign up for one of these events did, and it was intentional. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So I don't know if you noticed, but some of the topics that I used to invite people to this event were very strong. They were very specific and targeted, and they were also geared towards one very, very specific person. That means you. So let me tell you who that is, like, or who I feel this event is really made for, so that you can see how you can get the most out of this. This is the person that could benefit the most from this event. Okay, so if you are, you know, someone that has no time to breathe because you're so busy with clients, you know, all the time, like running around, over delivering and overwhelming them, not only overwhelming yourself, but overwhelming them, right? To the point that the results are a little bit iffy. This is for you. Okay, if you're burning out, like I remember burning out all the time, like at even less than 5,000 a month, but you're burning out at around 5,000 a month, and you can even like even picture what the 10,000 a month, if you're so overwhelmed and so burned out at 5K, or you know, around that figure, then going to 10K or even the 10K sale, just like, you can't even think about what that would look like because you're already so overwhelmed. Okay, you have many issues with money. So meaning that every time that you see a bill, you know, popping up in your email or anything like that, you would really rather hide under your bed, because you don't want to face the balance on your bank account. It's frightening, and you just ignore it. I can imagine, like, meaning that I remember very well how I would just be like, I know it's there, I'm just not dealing with it, you know. I've gone through it, so I understand. You probably have no confidence, like, or not the level of confidence that you need to have in your work, even if you're getting some of your clients really awesome results. You're just still not confident. Like, you're thinking that, you know, it's not working, and then that is really translating to your people. Okay, you make more money. Like, the moment that you make more money, you manifest more bills. So something happens. Either you sign up for something else that you didn't even want or didn't even need, meaning another course or something like that, or you manifest a bill, like the car breaks down, you get sick, you have to go to the hospital, whatever the deal is, like, but the money gets swallowed up again, and you always end up even, or even below a little bit. Okay, you can't even picture what it would be like, or what it would look like to have something to deliver that costs 5,000, let alone 10,000. it really, like, you have no idea what you would be able to deliver for that amount. So like I asked you, like, that you should be asking yourself questions. One of the questions that you could be asking yourself right now is, which of these things that I just mentioned, this list, which is a paralyzing fear for you? Which of these is the one that's actually really like, ooh, yeah, that's like me. I do that all the time. That feels awful. Yes, that's me. And if you're really courageous and you're wanting to share, then you're welcome to share in the comment section. I would really want to hear from you about that. Okay? So let me see who's here before we even move on to the next thing. You guys, you can, oh, nobody's commented. There's plenty of you on the line. If you can comment in the comment section just to see that you're here. There's a lot of you actually. So just come on board, say hi, and then I'll go back in a little bit. Okay? So I really want to welcome you again. Like I said, I'm doing this masterclass because I want to save you time. So my big thing is that it took me so long to get to where I am. I mean, it felt like a really long time. It's been about 3 years, like 3.5, like almost 4 years now. Like, I think next month it's going to be like 4 years that I started my business. And now, because of the work that I've been doing, I've been able to get my clients there a lot faster with some of this information. So this is the same exact information that I share with my private clients. It's not different. It's the same. And I want to share with you so that you can actually start seeing what is happening. Why is this not working? Okay. And the thing that I want you to look at, because I do want this to be different. I don't want it to be like every other event. I want you to look at your results. I want you to look at your results because they are the only indicator of whether you're moving or not. You can think that you're moving. You can feel that you're moving. If your results are not showing that you're moving within a short enough period of time, say like a month or something like that, then you're not moving, okay? And anything that's happening in your environment or anything that's happening in your life that's telling you, oh, I'm moving, but you're not, like the results, like the bank account pretty much, like it's not showing it, right? If you're working on your business, your bank account should be reflecting the fact that you're working through some of these things. And quickly, like it shouldn't be taking you like years to do this, right? So I really want to drill this into you because most people get sold a lot of lies and a lot of information that doesn't match where they want to go. Your goals, as much as the results that you get, like the ones that are showing up in your bank account, whatever, are like pretty much the outside external thing of what's happening on inside, right? The goals really dictate what you want to do, like, or what you need to do. It's just that simple. The same as your clients' goals dictate what you need to do with them. Everything has an internal and external. Okay, the results are showing the internal, whether the internal things is working. You can feel really good, you can feel amazing and feel peaceful all day long. And if your results are not showing it and that is your goal, there's something happening with what you're doing that is not working. Okay, so if you have any ideas about how your circumstances are so unique and your reasons so valid for why you're not there yet, even if some of those reasons, because this is something that I've heard recently. I've been hearing a lot actually. yeah, well, you know, it's working. It's working. I'm working on it, you know, and then a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months go by. And something that I've heard as well is how, you know, oh, I need to heal that part of myself. You know, I need to, you know, do a lot of healing and all that stuff before I can actually take the leap. I really understand, because I'm spiritual as well, that we need that support, but I feel that a lot of the times, like, we're using those things as excuses, okay? So whatever the excuse, whatever the uniqueness of your circumstance or the reasons that may sound really valid to you, okay? If you desire something and the results are not showing up, you really need to dismiss those things immediately. You need to identify them and then release them. If you're continuing to do that, then it's very difficult to make anywhere above 10K for one package, okay? Because those excuses are the reasons, you know, the reason that it's not working. They need to be eliminated, okay? And this will look like what you think, like what I explained to you in that list, like all those things that I share with you, those are the excuses, those are the circumstances, that's what's living in the outside world, that's reflecting what's actually happening for you, and the reasons that it's not working. The results are showing it. The results, all of those results that you don't want in your life, are actually really the story, the book, pretty much like a written book, right, of why it's not working, okay? So it's not a conscious thing. It's not like we do this on purpose, obviously, right? We will never do this on purpose. This is just the only way that, this is just the only way that we've, you know, sort of been able to act, because this is just the way that we've been taught to do things. But if we actually start looking at the results and get our emotions out of the way, right? So look at it really, really objectively, then you can see what's happening, okay? But let me tell you how I know this, and how I've actually experienced this, because for me, it wasn't like, oh, yay, I just made the decision and, you know, and it worked. No, it was a battle, okay? And the fight was not pretty, nor was it easy. So let me give you a little bit of a background, and I'm gonna go through this really quickly so that you can really get a picture of where I'm coming from, and you can understand why, exactly how I know this. Let me just take a sip of my kombucha. Let me see if anybody else commented. Hi, Tony. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Elvia. Okay. Hi, guys. Thank you for being here. Okay. So I posted in one of the posts that I shared in, you know, to invite you guys to this event, that I grew up in Cuba. And one of the reasons that I did that is because a lot of people, like I said, they sort of like actually start believing their stories and their beliefs about what, you know, how hard it's been for them, or like why, whatever the circumstances, it really doesn't matter. Like, I really want you to hear me. It really does not matter. And I'm not saying that I grew up in Cuba to make you feel bad or good about yourself. I'm just saying it as a statement in fact, right? That was where I came from. I was talking to my boyfriend this morning because we found, you know, one of those clothes hanger things, and I started telling one of his kids that, you know, we used to wash our clothes in the neighbor's washing machine that was probably from the 50s, right? Because that was our washing machine did not work. And then we would go, me and my sister, with the big bucket of clothes, right? And then we would hang them up with those pins, right? And we would, with similar bucket, we would shower with that bucket. And, you know, to an extreme of not even having toilet paper. Like it's, you know, and we were well off as compared to a lot of people in the neighborhood. We actually went on vacations to the beach, and we had, you know, food all the time and all of that stuff, which not everybody in our school had the same advantages that we did. But things like luxury or anything like that, they were not even available. It's not that they weren't even there. They were just not even available for us to even experience or even have a picture of what it would look like, unless we saw something in a movie. But it wasn't even part of the reality. So going from that to charging high fees, you can only imagine what that felt like for me, someone that grew up so modestly, that in my head, the idea of anything that good, that expensive at all, felt really contractive for me. So meaning that every time that I thought about expansion, like about expanding, raising my fees, or working at a higher level with someone, delivering something even better, I wanted to shrink. I wanted to hide, right? And I couldn't allow it to happen because it just felt so contradictory. It felt almost like, if I do this, then I'm bad, because someone that's good, someone that is worth it, would not be doing this, would not be charging these fees, would not be whatever, right? And all of the stuff that comes up, especially about what is right and wrong, your morals, that you rather hold on to so tight than feel that you're a fake or a fraud or not in integrity. It hurts. Like, it's not just something, it's not something made up. It actually hurts, like, to think like that. But what I figured out when I was creating this business that I was in is that all that stuff was not true. And it was a matter of perspective that I was looking from. And now, it didn't mean that it didn't feel true at the time. It felt very true at the time. But instead of making a huge leap to go and charge $25K with my first package, I actually made a leap based on where I was and then created a plan. If I went back in time, I don't think I would necessarily do it the same way, but I would need support from someone like me, for example, to really identify the things that I'm very skilled at, to then bring into the surface and then be able to deliver that at a really high level. Now, another thing that I want to say is that my plan wasn't really necessarily for 1 year. So when I decided to start raising my prices, and I'll tell you guys like how I did that. I didn't make the plan for 1 year. I just decided how I wanted to work with people. And I wanted to work with people at a really high level. I wanted to work with people privately because I felt that I could really uncover the underlying issues, the fears, the worries from a mindset perspective, and then the strategies that weren't really aligning and clicking for them 100%, that did not allow them to make those changes and those leaps really fast. So then so that's how I actually ended up going from charging $400 a month. You know, I had month-to-month clients at one point, some for $400, some for $500, $400 a month, and then ended up last month selling my first and then my second 25K package. So I definitely want to tell you specifically the areas that I focused on to be able to make these leaps. And they were pretty much the same areas, even when I started with my very first package in this particular business, because every single one of those things like tends to sort of like come back up every time that you make another leap, and then you have to sort of like work through it, understand it, and then move on to the next level. Now, the thing that I feel that people tend to do backwards, and what I did backwards for the 2 years where it wasn't working, is the fact that I wanted to sort of like do it. I wanted to get the proof and then do it, but it doesn't work that way. I had to do it and then clean up whatever the mess is, and then make the next leap, and then clean up whatever showed up. So it wasn't like I am going to, work my ass off, because that's the old way of thinking. It had to be the other way. You had to take the leap and then start cleaning up that stuff and all of that, and then move on to the next level. It's sort of like the thing that my mentor says all the time, the answer precedes the problem. It always went in that direction, and that's how I've been able to do it so consistently, right? So before I go into the content, then I want to tell you that I promise, and by the end of the call, because we're already at 12:32 and I haven't even gotten to the content, I'm going to go really quickly. I promise I can talk really fast. I am Cuban after all. So by the end of the call, I promise that I will tell you how you can get more information about all of this, because honestly, I could talk about this all day. So just be assured that I will help you get more information if you need it. Okay, so my goal today in what I want to share with you, in not only in sharing that history and the story of how I did it over the last year, because this started last January. So January, that's when I created my plan for this new business. And I went from teaching mindset coaching to combining mindset and strategy together, because I was a mindset coach primarily before, mindset lifestyle. And then I went into teaching business more. And I want to show you exactly what those sleeps look like. So pretty much the specific things that I did myself that have allowed me, and some of my clients as well, by the way. So this is not just me. Like, I've also tested this through my clients, that has allowed me to grow my business from nothing, like really, because 400 a month, I was like pretty beginner, to the most successful month that I had last month, which led me to make more money in the last month than I did in the first 2.5 years, I think, or so, like maybe 2 years and like 3 or 4 months in business. So huge, right? I feel that that's a huge leap, especially for having done it within just 1 year, which was really great. Okay. So let me get into the first step here. So this step is talking about how to make your current results and your clients soar with every leap you take in income, with better clients, and even with growing yourself. So I have seen a trend in the community lately that I have been paying attention to, and it has everything to do with complaining about fees. So meaning, complaining about the fact that everybody's all about the money, and like, complaining about the fact that, everybody's talking about the 10K fee and like all this other stuff. And I remembered how I myself had the same sort of complaints within the first, even like the first 1.5 years in my business. And then I remember how that immature thing to want to lash out to someone else, like, and then complain about them, because then that meant that I couldn't complain about myself. Really, I was sort of like being the victim in the situation. by complaining about them. Oh yeah, everybody's all about the money, whatever the deal was, right? Even though I don't think that I really lashed out online or anything like that. I think that I did it more internally, like, yeah, that woman's full of crap or whatever. Like she like, that can't be real, or whatever that deal was, which I'm sure that you guys are not there. And then that matured a little bit. So I called like the immature and then mature. That matured through me hitting my head against the wall another 20,000 times or so, until I decided that it was enough. And then when that matured, then I actually stopped looking at the outside. So like what was happening on with other people. And then I started looking at myself, right? And then, but I was still beating myself up about it, which is not productive. And you can't have this in your system at all if you're going to raise your fees and start living in a completely different way. So if the way that you've been living and the way that you've been doing business has not really been working for you, because you've not seen the results, everything feels really hard and all that stuff, this cannot be in your system. You can't be complaining about other people, and you cannot be complaining about yourself. That's the first thing that I did. Okay. Because it sort of like blocks the whole thing, like blocks the whole possibility of movement forward before it even starts. It doesn't let you start to begin with. Okay, so here's what I did specifically. So more like technically what I did, I wanted to raise my fees. I knew that that's what I wanted, because there are only really two ways that you can make more money. And I knew that the amount of money that I was making, because during the first 2 years, I made about 12,000. And I remember that because there was a program that I wanted to go into, and they would not allow you to go until you hit at least 10,000 in your business total. So I said, yes, I cut it, because they didn't allow anybody who was extreme beginner into it, because they felt probably it was a waste of money. And it wouldn't get you results. So then I stepped into, so what I did was that, because I was charging 400, and then I went to charging 2,000 for a beta program. So I said, this is not going to be the regular price, but I'm going to, this felt good, and it was for only 6 weeks. So I was like, okay, great. So let me just do this, give really awesome content during 6 weeks, the content that has already worked for me. I had already at that point a few successful launches using the same system. And then I went to charging 2,500 for that same 6-week program. And then I went to a bigger program for 5,000, then a smaller program than that one for 7,500, and then 20,000. And the last one was a big jump. And the reason was that I realized that the price is relative. And I already knew that I was delivering these results for my clients. So it was a matter of making the decision to grow and really allow it. What does that mean for you? You have to look at what it is that you want, and then you have to obviously it has to have legs, right? You have to be able to understand the result. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So don't worry, like I'll explain how this works more thoroughly. Okay, so the time it took me was also a matter of perspective. I decided I don't want to wait for another year to get here. I want to do it now, right? And I made the jump because I could have made the jump a while ago. I just hadn't stepped into believing that I could. And the belief is part of the block. That's the other block that has allowed me over the last year to make those big leaps and to continually be able to not only say I'm doing it, but actually do it. So again, it's not in the head. It's not in just my emotions. It's actually in the actions that I'm following through. Okay. most people, when you're thinking about something like this, most people think that you won't be in integrity if you charge more. But the truth is that you already aren't in integrity. And let me explain what I mean by that. Because this is something that a lot of people have issues with. And I want to be able to give you some clarity around this and some relief, because then like that, you can actually start taking the right actions. What I mean by that is that at the highest expression of your purpose, at the highest expression, you know, where you're serving better, you'll have even better clients, even better results, and you're living your purpose fully, you're not charging $120. You're not charging, you know, like $200, even $2,000 at the highest expression. And by the highest expression, I mean that you continue to grow, that you continue to develop yourself, that you continue to allow more, that you continue to become a better person, more skilled, and all of that stuff. That happens as you continue to increase your capacity. Like, it's just about your capacity. So shrinking only leads to more shrinking. Expansion only leads to more expansion. One of the things that we have used in this world, in our society, to expand is money. So that connection that we have with money, and whether the beliefs are positive or negative, allows us to actually, and obviously we want it to be positive, but it allows us to actually expand our capacity to then be able to be our best selves, right? So this happens through your business because you're living your purpose through your business. You're actually working through your business. You're being fulfilled. You're expressing yourself through your business. So the more you that you become, the better it gets all around at all levels. Okay, so you're already not in integrity because you're not being the best you. You're not being the highest you that you could be right now. It doesn't mean that you have to be the highest you that you are going to be 20 years from now. It means that the highest you that you could be right now, you already know that you aren't doing it. You know it. You feel it inside. If you didn't feel it, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't. So what question can you ask yourself about what I just shared? Pretty much the entire thing that I just shared with you, it's all about raising your fees is the way for you to take yourself and everything and everyone around you up with you. And it can take as long as you want. As long and as little time as you want. Because it's already there. It's up to you. Are you going to allow it now, or are you going to allow it like 5 years from now? It's really up to you. Okay? So I've had several clients who changed our fees. Pretty much I went from like really tiny fees. I had one that went from like 150, one that went from like 197 or something. She was selling like little programs. And then another one that specifically, one that went from 500. The one that went from 150 was really cool because she's a spiritual entrepreneur, and by that she's like a healer, and she was able to see clearly, like when she was able to really see what she did for her clients, how she could structure her program. She went to charging $5,000 and getting it like within a matter of weeks. The clients are ready as soon as you're ready. It's not about, waiting. Like, there's no reason to wait. There's no need to wait. There's nothing to wait for. None of that stuff. That's just a belief that you have inside of yourself that it's not even real. Like, you're just believing it for whatever reason at this point, because you haven't explored, you haven't asked yourself a different question. Okay, so let me go to the next one. And another sip of my kombucha. I really do love this stuff. It's the guava flavor. You guys should try it. So, one of the fears. Why raising your fees does not have to mean clients running away from you screaming, ah, right? And how it can mean actually hitting the client lottery with made-to-order clients just for you. Okay, so the main reason, and this is me all the way for the first 2 years, one of the main reasons why I didn't want to raise my prices, and why I didn't get clients when my prices were up, because I started with high-end prices and then I lowered them for whatever reason. All right, it's because that we're scared that we won't have any clients, right? So we're scared about what all of that means. Like, so all the baggage of not having any clients, and not having any money, you know, and every single other way that it translates across the board, meaning, you know, the bills, like, you know, our lives, like doing the things that we want to do, like buying the courses that we want to buy, all that stuff is just like all dependent on this thing. So the pressure is on, right? So, and we're also scared of losing the ones that we have, because if we raise our fees, and we should be in integrity, meaning that everybody should be paying the same types of fees or whatever the deal is. The truth is that you're, you know, if you want to do that, if you want to, you know, to have that life, to live that life, to be the way that you want to live, and you know that to be in alignment with it, you have to raise your prices. You can't be scared, okay, of the, let me see, how do I put this in a way that's a little bit clearer? Okay, so the truth is that it's supposed to scare you, okay? And it's supposed to bring up all your stuff, all your shit around guilt and shame and all the fears and all that stuff, because, like I said, you leap, then you clean it up. That's how you actually get to understand what was holding you back as you're doing it, not as you're thinking about it or as you're feeling into it. Those things are really great, but as you're doing it, all of that is going to bring a lot of thoughts and a lot of emotions, and then you can actually work on those things. Okay, so every time I raised my fees, I had to go through major releasing of old beliefs and patterns, like every single time. Okay, you do it, and then you release the beliefs that come up. That's how it works. Okay, if you want clients, they will be there. And that's the thing that most people just cannot get through their heads. It does not matter the level that you charge at. Delivery is something completely different. I'm just talking about just the level of the client, okay? If you believe that there's a person that you can work with, that you can get really amazing results, if you're doing some very specific things and you're not going for that client because you think that they won't hire you or they won't, whatever the beliefs are, then that's a problem. That client is already there. It's just waiting for you. You have to step up, okay? I haven't raised my prices up to this level without finding a client that wouldn't pay it. Not a single time. It doesn't matter what level. Even the one that felt the most unusual, and I have to tell you, like the one that felt the hardest for me was when I was at the 10K level. When I had my first 10K client, I had to go through some stuff to get rid of that, like everything that came after me to sort of sabotage me, okay? Because it will happen, okay? And that's when you need support, like in those areas, because it really will happen. It will come back and bite you in the ass and make you want to drag you back to where you were, okay? Not a single time have I not been able to find a client. And I really want you to get it to your head that the clients are there. It has nothing to do with the fee. The fee is relative. I have many colleagues, many friends that are way beyond charging even 20K. They're at 50K, 100K, and they're getting their clients. Like whether your belief around it is like, I have no idea if that's worth it or not, that's your belief. That has nothing to do with the fact that they are getting clients and they are delivering at whatever level they want and getting it. They will always get it. You will always get it. On the contrary, if you don't claim them, if you don't claim those clients and you don't claim that that's what you want, right? And you keep pushing them away. You keep pushing what you want away because it's not right, it's not whatever, right? By your beliefs. You desire it and then you're not doing it. it will always become harder when you're fighting that battle. Because your desires dictate what you should be doing. That's it. If you're not doing that, if your desire is for a higher type of client, for higher fees, and you're not doing that, and you're still living at the smaller level, wherever it is that is, you're not congruent. You're already out of integrity. That's what I was talking about before. You're already out of integrity. Like, you have to understand that. That's how you get in integrity. That's how you get in integrity. That's one of the main ways that you get in integrity. Okay? It has to feel authentic to you. And you will not feel any more authentic, honestly. Like, this is something that really shocked me. You will not feel any more authentic when you're actually delivering at a level worthy of you, of who you really are inside. Not who you think you are, like who you really are, who you know that you are. This is all about better clients for you, okay? You don't need that many. You just need yours, your peeps, not someone else's peeps. So what kind of questions do you have about this? What kind of questions can you ask yourself to really understand this content a lot deeper? Okay, then we have number 3 here. Why asking where can I find my high-paying clients or the high-paying clients is not the right question, and exactly how to find them today. Okay, so here's the thing, that this is something that, you know, has been around as probably as long as there have been businesses, right? But your problem is not getting clients. You're made for it. It has nothing to do with that, okay? You're made for connection, and rapport is what's actually closest clients, because it has everything to do with trust, and trust is required for someone to invest in working with you, especially as a spiritual entrepreneur. Especially if what you think that you're delivering is intangible, right? Like, it's not like the 10K month or like the business system or whatever the deal is. Like, it has nothing to do with that. And actually, it's even better when you're incorporating those things into your program, because that's more you. And again, we said more you, better, more expensive. Okay, this is not the problem. The problem is you. You're the problem. Okay, you don't trust yourself in what you're doing, okay? Because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing and exactly how you're supposed to be doing it. So you don't trust your results. Okay, you don't trust your results. You're not confident, so that's translating into your clients. And that belief, that lack of belief, or whatever the deal is not really coming across the way that it should be coming across, and you're leaving $100,000, $200,000, $200,000 on the table because you're doing that. Okay, because you're not focusing on the main things that will allow you to create that breakthrough. You need to be doing your business the way that you're supposed to be doing it, not the way that someone else is supposed to be doing it. Okay, you have to be 100% behind what you do. Okay, that's how I did it too. So I knew that I could create my clients' results with my first thing that I was doing, which is helping people do launches, like create their own launches and all that stuff, because I had created a major miracle, and then miracle after miracle after miracle using the same system. So for me, it was easy to do. And any disbelief, any doubt that I have about it, I had to step it aside. Otherwise, I knew that it was going to be dead before I even started. The problem is when you don't actually understand and you don't have the ability to be able to see for yourself how you work that nobody else does, and what you do that nobody else does, and the way that you do it and the way that you can do it with your people, that it's creating the lack of clarity, and that's creating fuzziness, and that fuzziness is really translating across the board, because so long as you're fuzzy and you're unclear, then you can't really translate that into confidence, and that confidence is what actually sells it for you. Okay, so those questions, like the questions of like, am I doing the right things? Am I heading in the right direction? All that stuff, it keeps you stalling. It keeps stalling what you're here to do. Okay, this is all about who you're here to be and who you need to be in order to have the results that you want. And it's not happening right now because you're not acting like it. You're focusing on the wrong things. Again, the problem is not getting more clients. When you're who you are and how you need to work, then your clients will already be there waiting for you because they're already there waiting for you. One of my clients had a really huge belief that was blocking her. So it had something to do with her, like her value. And once she overcame this belief overnight, like literally she had a client the next day for $5,000, and she had been charging $500 for her packages. $500 to $5,000. That's like $1,000, 1,000% increase in her price. Amazing, because she believed in herself. She actually started working the way that she needed to work. No more questioning herself. Okay, so let me tell you the last one. This is, can I show you what is your fastest 250K strategy? The same one that you can execute today that you have been using since kindergarten. We've already been talking about this. Okay, how do you do this? There has to be a strategy, right? That's the question that I get all the time. Yes, there is. It's your strategy, the way that you work. That's the key. Okay, if you've ever tried something that works for you, I can give you an example of this. Like, so I remember like trying for a very long time to clean up my acne. I had acne all over my face, and if I drink dairy of any kind or eat it, I ingest it, I break out all over the place again. And I remember trying one thing that worked for me like instantly. Like I already started seeing results right away. Okay, if you've ever tried something that worked for you, and many things that don't, because I had tried absolutely everything, you will see that underneath that is resonance. There's something that just clicks into place. This is deeper than marketing, and this is something that I had to uncover for myself. Like, that's my strategy, the way that I work, that allows me to serve and to sell the way that works for me. Okay? And this is where the spiritual piece, like I mentioned in one of the posts, even especially if you're not a business coach, right? So if you're a business coach, it's fine. If you're not a business coach, which I'm guessing most of you aren't, this is especially important for you. Instead of trying to sell what you think will sell, understand what you're here to do, and then selling that will be in alignment with who you are. And it will get you there a lot faster. So some of the things that I've seen, a lot of the clients that have made a huge leap is the fact that they actually started incorporating some of the things that they really feel are intangible gifts. So intuition, spirituality, even mindset to a certain extent. And that gift tangibilized, because everything can be tangible when you actually understand how to do that, made it like completely irresistible when they actually went into the marketplace. I have one of my clients right now that just went from $1,200 a month, like a year, like for the entire year up until October. She had made $1,200 in her business the whole year, and then she just, like before the end of the year, I think she had done like over $40,000 within 3 months. Awesome. Like, it strips away because she actually uncovered something really tangible underneath that was hers, that felt good, that felt like her. And then by using that particular thing, she just took off. She just took off. It was just that simple. For me, it was the same thing. It was about that. For me, more specifically, I do the whole like alignment between the strategy and the mindset that makes it me, because that's how I work. That's how I created my breakthrough, and that's how I like giving breakthroughs to my clients. So there are two kinds of people that I tell this to. One that comes up with all sorts of excuses. Again, the same type of excuses that we saw at the very beginning, right? I can't sell my program for that much. I have to raise my prices little by little. I will lose all my clients if I do this, right? I don't know where to find the clients for this. Whatever it is, my question to you is it true? And the answer may surprise you. Yes, it is true. If it's true for you, right? And that's where you get your results. You make whatever reality you want to make here. I created my reality slowly over a 1-year period. I knew that I wanted to raise my prices. I knew that I didn't want to go for group programs or for e-courses, or any of those things were not in alignment with who I wanted to be, how I wanted to work with my people. I wanted to work privately, and I wanted to work with a few very select individuals. And that's how I created it. That's how I created my business, okay? Are you following a plan that's set up specifically to help you not only raise your prices, really, but to make your monthly income into one sale, all of that stuff in an easy way, in a way that works for you? Okay, so I promise that I will give you more information as to how you can find more, because it's already past time and I want to get to the Q&A ASAP. So one of the issues that I found over and over, really, is that it's difficult for us to really uncover these things by ourselves. It's almost impossible, really. I am not able to do it for myself, and I haven't seen a single person that has been able to make massive leaps in doing this, especially, well, the way that I do it is something completely different because it's particular to me. So I haven't really seen anybody that does it the way that I do it, especially, you know, if you've been around and trying to look at this and trying to figure this out, trying to see how you can break through with your prices and building that big business. So the goal defines what you do. It's not the other way around. You have to come up with a plan yourself. Okay, nothing can come out of that place if you're unstuck, if you're stuck and unclear and all that stuff. Or even the place where you're feeling pressured to make the money. Okay, that doesn't help. So I want to invite you to something that I feel really be beneficial to you, and that's a makeover. This is where, and it's a business makeover. So pretty much making over your business so that you can actually see how you need to position your business in order to get the results that you want, raising those fees, being in full alignment with yourself, really being in integrity about the results that you're giving and the prices that you're charging, all of those things together. So this is not separate. This is not a way to just make money. This is a way that you are building your business so that your purpose is fulfilled the way that you want it to, and not in a way where 5 years from now you're like, oh my God, like I'm just doing this to make money. I'm not feeling happy. And I have a lot of people that have come to me that are in that same position. I really don't want that to be the case for any of you. So this makeover, this is where we're actually take 1 hour to make over the pieces that I just covered here. So I covered all of the major pieces that had to do with the pricing, right, and the business that have allowed me to make those leaps consistently over the last year. And these are the pieces that are not working, and they're, the goal is to give you clear ideas of what needs to change, especially for you to be able to not only double, but maybe even triple your current fee right away as you're able to understand and see what you do more clearly, okay? This is without having to go get another certification and another program or anything like that, okay? It's doing what you're meant to be doing, okay? How many of you, if you really feel into what I shared this with you and you understand that this is something really difficult that you haven't been able to uncover and release yourself, how many of you do you feel it would benefit to getting, like, from getting an insight view into exactly what's preventing you from raising your fees to what you know deep inside your packages are really worth, because you know what they're worth? How many of you would benefit from them? So this is the opportunity for me to ask you those questions that I can only ask you if we're speaking one-on-one. So I told you before that if I was speaking with you one-on-one, I would be able to go in and be able to help you with a breakthrough by asking you the very specific questions. Well, in this format, I can't really do that one-on-one in the business makeover session, which is completely complimentary and by application only. Then I will be able to ask you those questions and really see what's going on with your business right now. So caveat, only 5 sessions available. Closed door event for a reason. I told you guys this. So this is the application for you to see if you qualify for a makeover. You have to want this. If you don't want it, if you're not ready for this, then there's no reason for you to apply, really. If you feel that this is where you're headed in your business, if you know your goals and you know that you're not meeting them, then this is what you need to be doing. Okay, so 2 ways. I sent you an email with the link to apply for this during our event. So you should have an email already waiting in your inbox for you. Other than that, there is a link. There should be a link appearing within the next few minutes underneath your event. So meaning below the video, there should be a link that leads you. There's a box that should be leading you to the event page. I mean, to the application page, and you can just go in there and do it. So let me just move on to the next thing. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is that the 2 bonuses are eligible only if you apply for the application, and then, you know, we end up, you know, finding a way to work together. So I'm giving these to you as a gift, and they are kick-ass. So the first one is the 5 mindset hacks that I use to demand, receive, and keep my 5-figure income cash injections anytime that I need them. And the second one is, can I find and map out, it's pretty much like your 250K map, roadmap that takes all the guessing out of what you should be doing next. Okay, and they are available within the next couple of days. Now, another thing, the replay for this is going to be available only until tomorrow midnight. Closed door event. So yes, I'm making this a little bit harder for you guys because I want to see who of you is going to step up to the plate. I want to see who's ready. And now for the Q&A, I'm available. So that's all I have to say about that. I am ready for your questions. Let's see if there's anything here. I'm so happy and grateful that you're sharing your expensive information with us. You definitely have firsthand experiences on all sides of the struggle and what it takes to move beyond it. Thank you. Hi, Adrienne. My pleasure. So any questions from you guys? So pricing can be a little tricky because we can think that we know what to do. So one of the things that I remember experiencing myself is that, oh yeah, well, you just raise your prices. Sure. So why aren't you doing it? I think that's my question to you. And you should have been at least writing at least have written down from my instructions 4 questions that you had about the content, because there was a lot of things that I shared, and you should have at least 4 questions written down, and one of those you should at least want an answer to. So write it down into the comments and ask me. Otherwise I will go and you will miss this opportunity. I do this only once every like 3 or 4 weeks, so this is your chance to really get to ask me any question that you have about this or business in general. Like, the leap itself is challenging. So what is happening for you that's not allowing you to move forward? What are some of the things that are holding you back? What exactly is preventing you from going or being where you want to be right now? So there's something that you want right at this moment. Why aren't you there? And what questions do you have about that? So none of you? No questions? I'm refreshing and I don't see a single question. There's a lot of you on the line right now. I will go as far as challenge you and ask you, why no questions? What is it saying about the results that you have right now? Because if you're here, that means that you should have some questions. Elvia, how did you position your 25K package? Did you offer it to your potential client in a discovery call? Did you offer the 25K and the lower price package so that she decided what she needed? I don't generally do 2 packages. I see when someone's coming to work with me what they need and the level of support that they need right away. So I don't, unless I feel that someone is in between packages and that I feel that they will benefit from different types of packages, I don't offer different types of packages. So for example, right now, anybody coming on, I have a mastermind that I just started putting together the last couple of weeks that is going to be happening starting in May. So it's like a few months from now. And I will have that, which is semi-private. There's some private work in there, and then there's also my private coaching. If someone comes to me that I feel is qualified for both, I will give them both, but most of the time people will either be qualified for one or the other. And that's how I really share the packages that I have, because it has everything to do with them and nothing to do with me. I don't dictate where they should be going. They dictate where they should be going based on where they want to go, their results, what kind of things they need to work on in their business, how much support they need, that kind of thing. It has everything to do with them, not me. Did I offer it to your potential client a discovery session? Yes, I always do discovery. Well, I don't do discovery sessions anymore. The sessions that I do are more makeovers. So that means that it's actually like giving a structure and real specific things that someone should be doing in their business within a session. So the discovery session is more, are we meant to work together? Which is great, but the structure is a little bit different because you're not really giving specifics. It's more like really going through someone's desire, someone's, because it was really interesting because I actually did discovery sessions for a while and they worked well for me, but they didn't feel 100% right because they were all about fluffy stuff. Like, I didn't feel that they were actually sharing very specific things that someone could understand. It's sort of like it was a fluffy consultation as compared to something that's like a prescription. Like, what I do is what I do in my makeover sessions is more like a prescription. Here's what's going on with you. Here's what I'm prescribing, and here's the reasons why this will work. And here are the reasons why this should be done this way as compared to another way. It's very specific and very specific to that person as compared to something where you're just taking them through a process that makes them feel really great and really inspired, but doesn't give them a clear picture as to what is going to happen on the other side. So I do them a little bit differently. How did I position my 25K package? I really don't know what you mean by that, Elvia. If you can really ask that question in maybe a different way, how did I position it? I position it, like if I understand the question correctly, I position it based on the results. So my 25K package offers a particular result. And that's what I mean when you feel that your services cannot be tangible, even if you are a spiritual entrepreneur. It has nothing to do with that. Your services will always be tangible when you actually can understand how to do that. So I positioned it based on the results that it offers to people. So they want this particular result, and that's what I'm selling. The package, the way. So I hope that I answered your question. Let's see what else. Nothing else? Anybody else? Like most of you are still on the line. So let me know, Evia, if that was enough for you. And see if you guys have any questions. So Wendy and Adrian, you guys have commented. Do you guys have questions? No more questions? I'm going to wait a couple more minutes. If you guys don't ask questions, I'm going to go. But you really have to be thinking about it this way. The main thing behind what's keeping you from charging those fees is the very thing that I covered in this event, and the very thing that I will be going over in the makeovers if you sign up for that. Not even sign up, if you apply for it. The purpose of that is to really uncover what's behind the curtain that's not allowing you to make those sleeps as frequent or as to the level that feels like it's like you. What does that mean? It means that right now, like I said, you're already out of alignment. You're already not charging what you know your programs are worth. You're already over delivering, very likely. You're already doing the things that you know that you shouldn't be doing in your business. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like you. This is what one of those calls will do for you. And this is what the entire purpose of this program, of this call was. You're welcome, Elvia. To really, really go underneath and help you see what the truth is behind those things. So why what you're doing and the way that you're doing it has everything to do with your strategy. So it's not about some gimmick or marketing tactic. Really, it's about the way that you need to speak to your clients, the way that they need you to speak to them, the way that you're delivering, like how you're positioning your delivery and all of that stuff that makes it yours, that makes it seamless, and it makes it fun. If you're not having fun right now, there's probably something that you're doing wrong. And it doesn't mean that it's not challenging, but it can be challenging and it can be fun at the same time. It doesn't mean that it has to be like, dreary and disgusting all the time. It can be beautiful. It can be a very, very growing experience for you if you let it. Okay. Any other questions? Let me just refresh again and then I'll leave because you guys are not very active today. Okay, that's it. So There are so many of you. The fact that you're not taking advantage of this time, I don't know why. I hope that, you know, if you have questions that you didn't want to ask publicly, you can send me an email and I'll be happy to answer it. The best way really is, again, to apply for a makeover and to put your questions in the makeover as well, so that I can see where you want to go and where you are right now are connected, so that you can actually have a very specific step, like, you know, actions that you need to take in order to actually go to that next place. It's very important that you actually allow yourself to receive the support that you need. And if you're not where you want to be, and you were in this masterclass, which I consider really close door because it was a very intimate group today, then this is every reason for you to at least apply, so that you can see what's hiding behind what you're doing right now that is not allowing you to get the results that you want. And again, I sent you that email. You should have the box underneath this for you to just go and do your thing. Apply for it, and then we'll see how we can take it from there. So that's it for today. Thank you guys for being here. I really enjoyed this. Was very different. Now let me give you one last thing. The questions that you wrote down, answer those questions for yourself. If you come to one of the calls, you know, the makeover calls, then I'll be happy to work with you on them. But at the very least, answer those for yourself and see exactly what's happening for you right now that is not giving you the leap that you could be making. Your monthly income could be in a sale, okay? Your yearly income could be your monthly income. Really, the definition, like the boundaries are only as big or as small as you actually create them for yourself. So give yourself more space to really be you, to grow into the person that you're here to be, to live your purpose fully. And only those things happen when you expand, not when you contract. So expand, grow, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.